Laminated timber sculpture was created off-site using redwood, then reassembled on top of the bell tower. As a replacement for past masonry sculpture, the timber was then clad in gold anodized aluminium on-site in 1964 and is a Grade A listed.
And again, I've got another internal here, but you can see the connection detail here, and the bit of structural timber here connecting to the building is rotting at the connection point. So it's just relying on that friction.
No. Sure.
And back on the other side again here.
The scaffolding work levels range from A to H, and the timber restoration efforts were focused on addressing any significant issues to ensure its conservation.
Now, this is the end of leg 1. Again, this is leg 2. Decay is more, again, at the bulk timber point where they did this design change, which has really caused major problems with rating investigation. Again, here we are on the opposite side. The space here is very small, so obviously a change. Again, I color coded the moisture readings on the wall, on the surfaces. Yeah, just to give a visual indication. We need to get down into that bottom piece. That's the key. This is L3, and I kind of hacked out some of the decay from this central section. Well, I did notice the lower part of decay, which is down here. This has actually been caused by the guys that drilled the holes through and the ventilation, and they actually created the rot problem to allow water to get into the structure. And here, bulk timber's okay here, and then again cleared out. Come around to the opposite side here. This is more pronounced decay on this side here. Sorry. Again, similar design problem here, more extensive decay into certain sections. This has been because once the water's found a route in, so the decay process is different to what you'd normally find in timber, because each lamination has got the adhesive, so it actually holds it within a smaller area and keeps it wet for longer. Interesting that I think some of this decay is all mostly historic because it's actually not visibly wet in the areas, so I do think things happen.
Timber legs are hollow and I have crawled inside them. They are connected to the church tower's 4 corners, and at their top is a galvanized steel box cruciform which connects the various timber elements together. There are 4 laminated timber arms which connect to the cruciform. Also, the 4 outer members are tenoned into the legs and then pass through the arm. The pinnacle column is in 2 sections of laminated timber and slides into the cruciform. The object was for me to assess the condition of the timber structure, then create a flexible method of repairs which would work in the severe weather conditions and lack of any structural support from the scaffold. After each access level was finished, I removed around 70% of the rotten timber. This allowed for an assessment of the remaining timber for meaningful signs of rot.
Where the upper member comes in. So this bottom part is bonded all the way down into the solid timber. This is just to give us a connection. Once the top is encased and the other timber is put there, it'll be consolidated into one complete section. But it gives us a solid base connection to the bottom. Most of this will be hidden. Okay, and this bit section down here has been infilled with timber as well and resin. This is the base of leg 4. And this will be bonded together with structural pouring resin. This section here this is leg 3, and we've used the resin build in these sections here, so that's been dealt with. And coming round to the inner side of the leg, this section has now been dealt with. Mid-member actually, for context, moves all the way through the inner member. You can see penetrates right the way through. And so what they did is they slid this up through there, and there'll be some sort of connection down at this point here. See the decay at various points. I opened up a section here, obviously to check the connection, which has been made of galvanized steel. I've removed the front rotten section, had a look at it, and I decided we should try and keep as much of the original, because most of the core structural part is solid, and I'm going down into where the tongue goes in, so that seems okay there. I can see into that, clear that, and then we've got this section over here. We'll cut this to section, then we can bring it in, slide a piece in. Initially we'll do the bottom half meter, get the tongue there, and then we can then start building the front faces up here and changing it as we go up. This all goes around as all problem of the temporary works. This is level C. As you can see, the outer member has now been repaired down within level C. The top section yet is just a small section to be repaired at the top. This section at the bottom, which is a lower section, that will be repaired when that section of the leg is dealt with. This part of the area is all repaired. The outer member here, that's been repaired. It's just been finished consolidating the resin all the way up, so that's dealt with. Coming to here, bottom section has all been repaired, and this section here of leg 3 is all dealt with all the way down. Okay, so the rot is minimal at this joint, running up this lamination. Just a little lamination running up here. Depth approximately 25 millimeters in, so it's half the depth estimated at. I've raggled out, Andrew, this area up further because I was concerned, because when I came in here I could see there is some decay here, but it's extreme. The ball section is extremely thin, so I've linked this. I'm going to pour this and then these 2 8mm rods into this section here to reinforce it. I did notice at the pass this must have been some kind of rotation on it. You can see the splitting on the, or it could be down to poor quality of the lamination of glue adhesive. But this section here is literally through to the other side. So these will all come out, fill this all with Fraser. This has got the 200 up from the arm, 250 up from the top of the arms for you. So hopefully this is what you're looking for. And obviously, as you can see, going up through D is done. Again here, the only bit we've got to do is we'll get that finished off today is that little nip at the down in the corner. So that will be done for you. We've got other work on arm 4 and 2, but that's outside the area. So I'll wait for materials for that to arrive. That's the view between 3 and 4. So obviously the top 250 is all ready for you. Okay. Screws all the way through here and here. This section here we put in pouring resin. The only reason for that is that we were going to have a surplus for when we're doing arm 2. So put a shutter on here. It was, as you can see, very thin. There was some carbon fibre rods in here just to bulk it, give it a bit more strength. This top bit here will be finished as a separate operation because we didn't want any resin to pour down into this section here. Okay. This is arm 2. Resin's been poured in. It's 16mm glass fibre rods into that, and again, this is the section, down. Place the soffit down below there with plywood all the way down that section there. Managed to get access in there. That's it, opposite side, and it's all the way down to there. That's leg 3 completed there, and the repairs all the way down the side as well. New soffits fitted.
Mathesons Plumbers, led by Gordon and Fraser Matheson, planned the cladding work meticulously, with Willie Hogan leading the site cladding work. The finish they achieved in 2024 exceeded the work carried out by Mathesons in 1964, but not the same team.